Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're here this Monday morning. Starting out a great week in the Florida Panhandle with all kinds of good news on our outdoors. Let's take a look at our weather, brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning. Drew Pollard and hard-working crew up there in Southport. Got a friend, he's going to put a unit in this week, and that friend has saved a couple $1,000s by going through Drew Pollard. That's a testimonial because the guy called me and told me about it. So real proud of you, Drew, and all you do. Looking at our Monday moon phase now. We're not on Monday. We'll not take a look at the moon. What's going to be doing? It's at waxing. We're going to have the full moon this Saturday. So plan your fishing around the full moon of April. The latter part of this week should be good. High today is going to be 78, low 62, and our expert weathermen have told us we're going to hit 80s this week, so we're going to finally get in some spring, and maybe that wind will die down a little bit. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Good tide today. We're looking at a low tide at 4:20 this morning, and a high tide at 6:24 this afternoon. Now it's going to be good tides the next 3 or 4 days. This weekend, we're going back to a little bit of neap tides with the full moon, so be interesting development. Hopefully can put together our first decent week of the spring, put it together this week and get some outdoor stuff done. So let's take a break, come back with our special guest. Welcome back, and welcome to a familiar guest. We haven't had him in a while, but back in the early years, Alan Courtney came on at Panhandle Outdoors a lot. Welcome back.
Thank you, sir. Good to see you. Good to be back.
Good to have you back. Bass fisherman extraordinaire. I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. He's been bass fishing his whole life. Your dad was a big bass fisherman.
He got me going at a very young age.
At a young age, yeah.
Very young. So.
Alan started that Around the Tournament Trail, that website.
Yeah.
And it just had people, all the bass fishermen all around, just poured into it and all, and really got things organized as far as the tournament fishing, and so many people got information from it. But what have you been up to?
Well, I'm not much here lately. I just retired 2 or 3 months ago, and so I've been tinkering around the house, getting things done. My wife's got a small list for me, so getting that taken care of. But anyway, putting in a putting green right now in the backyard.
That's what we were talking about. That you were able to do a little bit of golfing now.
A little bit. I'm not any good, but I enjoy going. It's a lot of fun. I'm just not that good at it.
Yeah.
But
you're not going to let it interfere with your fishing?
No, still fishing, still going to donate money to all my friends every weekend, as I usually do, So,
you want to donate it there to the tournament?
Yep, I donate them about every weekend. So occasionally I get a little bit back, but you don't ever make no money in bass fishing when you take into effect, if you have boat payments and entry fees and insurance and gas and all.
Well, talking about boats, you were telling me your dad. He sort of sold his boat now. He's 90 years old.
90 years old.
He's had a boat for
forever.
He's fished forever.
Yeah. He just recently has been slowed down as far as fishing goes. He still does what he wants when he wants. But I finally said it's time to get rid of the boat. And if you want to go fishing, just give me a call and we'll go.
We all hit that stage, and fortunately, he was able to get to 90.
90 years old and still owns a high performance bass boat.
And guess who he sold it to?
Yeah, Blake Sutherland.
Blake Sutherland, who not so serious tournament. So I thought so. So to me, that's tradition. Sending a good fishing boat from a good fisherman to a younger fisherman.
Yeah, Blake's excited to get it. So
that was cool.
Yeah. Like I say, he's good at 90. He's going strong. So he's been blessed. We're blessed to have him. So for sure.
All right, what else? You got all kinds of notes. I love it.
Yeah. And I have a new website now. I started about 2 months ago. It's panhandlebasstournaments.com, and it'll do the same thing the other one did. It'll let everybody know what's going on, when it's going on, where it's at, and a lot of results of the local tournaments. There'll be results on there with photos and everything else. So
good. We'll tune into
panhandlebasstournaments.com. It's just getting going. It's been a couple months now, but it'll get there. So
yeah, I love the way you do that, because everybody's sort of organized at what's coming up.
Well, that's the main thing. I think people can just look at that at a glance on the first page and say, hey, this it goes every weekend. I usually have a month to a month and a half in advance as to what's coming up the day, where it is, and that's kind of handy to know at a glance.
That's good to know.
Yep.
All right.
But anyway, yep, that's about it really. So
Okay.
But we've got a lot of pictures coming up to show of some good bass that are being caught, especially down at the river. The river has really been putting out big stringers here lately.
That was David Rich down in Weewall called it 10 pounder the other day.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, 10.2 pounds, and he was very proud of it. You know, a 10 pounder out of the river.
That's a huge fish out of the river.
That's special.
It's not unusual for Seminole or Talquin or, well, even Deer Point, occasionally kicks them out 10 pounds. We've caught a couple there over the years, but at the river, it's a big one. It's a big one for sure.
So what we're going to talk about, when you fish these tournaments, you have a lot of veteran bass fishermen and young, or not, maybe fishermen haven't done much of it, not necessarily young, but want to fish it. We're going to talk about the strategy, what you look for the weekend, and we're going to talk about the next segment about the weather and what the water level is, and the time of the year. And I know, and a guy like this,
Taking a little break.
okay, a guy like this knows all that. So let's go ahead and take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Then we're out of the court and we got all kind of great pictures and all kind of stories, and we're going to talk about bass fishing strategy and all kind of good things. So Alan, we'll start looking at some of these pictures.
Okay.
This first one now. I see old Will over here. Who else we got?
Yeah, that was the, let me look at my notes here. That was
Let's see.
the Mac Series. Denny McGlon, he has a tournament throughout the year called the Mac Series Trail, and this was their classic. They held all of the Mac Series regular season tournaments are at White City.
Okay.
But they had their classic at Lake Seminole, and Will Nelson and Sharp is the guy's last name. I didn't get his first name. Had 15.97 pounds at Lake Seminole, which is really on the smaller side of for a bag at Lake Seminole. So,
all right.
Congrats to them. The next couple would be the Florida Bass Nation Series. It's like the amateur way to make it to the Bassmaster Classic. Starting local, then you go to the state championship and regionals and on. But that's David Boyd won the boater division. There's a boater division and there's a non-boater division. Huh. It was at Lake Seminole. He had 22.18 pounds.
Whoa.
And then on the no boater side, we had a female won it, and her name is, I don't know how to pronounce it. They call her Tense, but it's Blackburn last name, 15.97 pounds. She was so excited. She's been fishing them. She's been fishing them for a couple of years.
Great.
On the no boater side.
Now, where does she live?
I really don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's in the North Florida Panhandle. So
okay, we got to get her to come on the show and talk about bass fishing. All right.
Yeah, and there's a familiar guy. There's been a lot of really big sacks, really good sacks coming out of the river, like we were talking about a minute ago. Mm-hmm. Alan Duke. This one would be the. I'm finding my notes
Alan
here.
Duke now, he has been around a while. He is one fine fisherman.
He'll be up here. He lives up here, but he'll run down to Okeechobee and guide for 4 or 5 days, and then come back up here and fish, and run back down there and guide some
He's
more.
remarkable.
Yeah.
He lived up here a while, moved down there, and then moved back up here.
But still goes down there to guide some.
I didn't realize he was still guiding full time almost.
But that was 24.42 pounds out on the river system right there.
Whoa.
The North Florida bass anglers.
That's strong.
And then this is Kenny Creel. You can't tell ever who took the picture, cut his little head off there.
That's good with Kenny though. Sometimes when they do that.
But he had 21.09 pounds in that same tournament. That was second place.
Kenny's a good fisherman.
He is. So.
All right, we got a big tournament coming up.
Yeah, this is their Red Holland Memorial and Project Graduation Benefit Bass Tournament coming up on
May 7th.
May the 7th out of White City.
Okay.
And as you can see, $150 entry fee. And I think they have a kids division. I'm not sure all the
it's got
specifics.
Kids division, $50.
I'm not sure the specifics about it. But
80% payback, 5 fish limit, both divisions. And Mike Pridgeon, okay, there's our number if I can blow it up. 653-5563 or Kyle Whitfield. Kyle Whitfield, that's 447-3301. Okay.
And you can always go to my site and
you'll have it on your site.
It's on there already.
Okay,
you can get that information if you're interested in fishing it. So it's always a good tournament.
A good cause. Okay.
And this one was the Real Money Team Trail out of White City. Chris Kincaid, Daniel Boyd, 19.26, another 20-pound stringer. So like I say, it's really, really doing well. Wow. And this one was just last weekend. This was the Winter Trail Classic. They start in October, end up in April.
Okay.
And This one was Jamie Johns, and that gentleman's last name was Wooten. They didn't put the first name.
That's a winter trail then.
The winter trail, yeah, that was 17.25 pounds there.
Okay.
And this was just this last weekend, Camo Dreams tournament at Deer Point. And the winners there.
Yeah, I saw the video on that last Thursday. Yeah. That was a good tournament out there.
Nine pounder.
That's two guys I know.
Yeah, I showed him, that's the fishing preacher man or the preaching fisherman, depending on what day of the week it is.
Exactly. I love that.
That was at the Camo Dreams, and that's our college pastor, Alex Gentili, fishing boat. So.
Brother Gentili, doing a good job there.
Was he one of your, did you go school? He
was in outdoor ed. He sure was.
Okay.
He was in outdoor ed. Yeah. I had Steve Taylor back in the day.
Did you?
Yeah. He barely passed, but I told him I'm gonna pass him. I'm gonna pass him on out the door.
Yeah.
No,
that's good.
Great kid.
That's good. So.
Well, I get tickled. That tournament last week we had with the Camo Dreams, it was special because it was on the video where everybody's out there, they say a prayer, and then the Sossaman girl, she was a Carol now.
Mia
Carol. Mia Carol.
Yeah.
Her mother was a Sossaman.
Okay.
And she did a dynamic job.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great way to start a tournament.
It was. I drew out boat number one, and that's when I'm right there in front of that speaker. And
I saw that. I said, "Wait a minute! What's Adam doing in number one boat? Just because he's one of the better fishermen, don't mean he gets."
No, I don't know about better, but hey, it's luck of the draw, and I get it every once in a while. But yeah, they put that speaker, on the dock, pointing out all over the lake, and I thought they probably woke some people up with the Star Spangled Banner and a prayer. But I said that's a pretty good way to get woke up.
Good way to get woke up. That's right.
It woke me up because my head was right in front of that speaker, and then Blake ended the day with a prayer. And it was just an awesome tournament, It was good news.
Raised a good amount of money. What was it?
Over $10,000.
Over $10,000 on one bass tournament.
It was 9,000 something, and when Whiskey and Wings was cooking their food that day, they donated all their proceeds, which put it over $10,000.
That's awesome.
That was really good. Yeah.
And Chris Kramer threw in several $5,000,
$5,000. Kramer Chevy, and
all for good cause.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's good. Now I got tickled. I hadn't been to the early starts in a while. Because usually I just do the weigh-in, but used to have that old shotgun start. Are they still doing that? Anybody still?
No.
Good. No. That was dangerous.
Yeah, it got crazy. When I ran the Tuesday night tournaments, we did that, and I did it up until a point when some people just got kind of stupid, and I said, there's no reason to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Occasionally they'll do maybe 5 at a time or something like that, which is a lot better than 25 or 30 at a time.
If you early viewers remember, Matt Smith and I went on one of the Tuesday night ones, and we about got in trouble. Somebody cut in front of us.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Some of the guys with the small boats want to get out there and run with people with 200 and 250 horsepower.
None of it's intentional. we watched it. None of it's intentional. It's just carelessness.
And
get it's that same way in the corner.
Yeah. So the boats dangerous, every year there's a couple of people.
But it was very orderly, or the way way it's done now. Everybody doing it that way, just one number 1, 2, 3. Hey, you just draw your number out of a hat. Is that
morning, that's how they did it. But say like the Federation, the Bass Nation, you will sign up ahead of time online on their website, pay online. The night before the tournament, they will send everybody a text what boat number you are. If you drew a partner, their name and number so you can get in contact with them. So everybody does it different. That's kind of a nice way to do it. You don't have to, kind of high tech, but works out really well.
That is good.
You can contact your partner the night before if you happen to draw one,
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's all drawn now and going one at a time, So a little bit safer than the way it used to be. So.
Now that most tournaments go in about 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Now except for Blake and Ricky and James that put on the Camo Dreams. They run the not so serious Saturday tournament.
Not so serious about it.
Not so serious, even though really that's everybody's serious.
I know.
But they have tournaments once a month that are going to be. The next one is May the 14th, and then at Deer Point, and then June the 4th at Deer Point. From at 11 a.m. is weigh-in. It's just going to go from safe daylight till 11 weigh-in, and it's getting too hot to fish anyway. The older I get, the hotter it is for me, and I'm gonna have to back off some.
I understand that. I'm a morning fisherman too.
And their tournaments are $25 a person. It's real reasonable.
Yeah.
They have big turnouts because of that. Because they're weighing in 11, the price is right, and so a lot of people show up. And it's local. It doesn't not a lot of gas involved in getting to Deer Point.
That's true.
So
good point.
Yeah.
Okay, let's. We're gonna take a final break. Come back with Alan Courtney. Okay, welcome back. Sitting around in court and talking about, guess what? Fishing. Let's take a look at our fishing game forecast brought to us, our times brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. Our time today, 7:50 to 9:50 this morning, and this evening, 8:13 to 10:13. Now, we're going to give you a little bass clinic, or Alan is, on different strategies. We're going to talk to a man who's bass fished his whole life and very, very successful at it, and very well known in the bass fishing community. So, strategy, Alan, when you're getting ready to fish a big tournament, what are you thinking? What's your strategy and all? Y'all pay attention now.
Well, it depends on where you're going, number one, whether you're going to the river, the tidal systems, what's the tide, high, low, when's it coming in, when's it going out, that has a big factor, over the years of fishing the river system, to me, outgoing tide, and I'm assuming to most everybody, is way better than a dead tide.
Okay.
Moving water in general is better, period, whether it's coming in or going out, but outgoing tide is over the years for me personally is always much better. You're going to Lake Seminole or Lake Talquin, depends on time of the year, spring for spawn, you're going to fish shallow. Excuse me. And then Talquin, especially because it's a deep lake. It has 45, 55 feet in there. Those guys will get out there on the ledges in Lake Talquin, fishing that deep. But fishing sandbars that may come up to 12 or 15 deep around the deep water and catch them out there. I don't generally go to Talquin in the summer because you can't compete with guys that are born and raised there and know where every little teeny hump out in the middle of the lake is.
Yeah.
But that's how they catch them,
Yeah.
And so it certainly depends on where you're at, tides or lakes and things, what time of the year it is. Like I have a tournament coming up in a couple weeks at Talquin. I'm going to stay shallow. They're still spawning over there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be actually sight fishing for them, but there's a couple spots they're just going to be there swimming around in shallow water and just stay there and cast all day long. And hopefully get you a few, but that's break it down to my little
Okay,
bit, so.
That's pretty strong right there, just doing those basic things right there. Now, we use the term, I've used it with our fishing reports, I use that term feeder creeks. Now, you're a believer in feeder creeks?
Yeah, when I'm at the river, because there's hundreds or thousands of feeder creeks in the river system, which is 100 and something miles long, just the main river.
Yeah, little ones.
And then you've got all the branches off of the main river, and then all those branches have they could be, 2 or 3 feet up to 10 feet, little creeks that are coming into other creeks. And some of the tournaments up there, that's all I'll do all day long is I'll run and hit 50 feeder creeks in a day.
Okay.
And I'll run the pattern of these maybe 10 or 15 or 20, and then I'll turn around and hit them back again. And
okay.
You'd be amazed that you may not catch any fish in the first 1 or 2 or 5 or 6, and then all of a sudden you run into one that you'll get your limit in 5 casts,
Okay, so that's something. Okay, plugs, top water, suspended worms.
Well, when I'm hitting those feeder creeks, I always start with the worm because I prefer one big hook with a 50-pound braid if I'm gonna, if he's in there and he's
Is that what size braid you use?
On a worm I do. Yeah.
Okay.
50-pound braid.
Wow.
But if he's in there and he's gonna hit a worm to start with, then so be it. That's what I'd rather catch him on because it's one big hook. They can't hardly shake one hook, versus if you had a topwater lure with 3 treble hooks, they can tend to shake that or get it off a lot easier, So I'll throw the plastics in there first.
Okay.
And nothing, then I'll throw in a moving bait. Nothing, then I'll throw a topwater. And what amazed me about 2 months ago, I won't say exactly where, but the river system, I threw a worm in a feeder creek 10 times, nothing. And I said, well, let me throw the bang lure in there. First cast was a 5-pounder, second cast was a 3-pounder.
Oh my
And
goodness.
it's not 3 feet deep. And they saw that worm in there every single time.
How do you explain that?
I can't explain it. But I was happy that it hit. I was in a tournament, so.
That's cool. I love stories like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes this is completely out of the ordinary.
Yeah. I knew they saw that worm every single time and just having to pick up the top water, and there it was. So.
We don't have time to go into depth, but we got to mention this. And you've been on the front row seat for all these years and watching the development of the electronics in the fishing industry. Has that been phenomenal?
Yeah, especially what's going on right now. They've got, depending on brand, is live side or active target. I think one is lower ants, one is something else. But they literally now can you see the fish moving on your screen, swimming around. There's just a round dot, and the dot is bigger the dot, bigger the fish. It's that sensitive. You can actually see your lure coming and see the dot go to your lure and hit the darn thing, and it's
God.
crazy.
Yeah.
You got to have some money,
Yeah.
you know, to be able to have it. Just the transducer is $1,600.
Yeah.
Then you have to have the machine another $2,000 up.
And you were telling me I don't get to watch a lot of bass tournaments. The big boys in the Bass Nation, this is what they
Bassmasters, yeah, most of them.
They're watching the screen.
Oh yeah, you'll sit there and watch I'll watch the live tournaments on TV when they show them live.
Yeah.
And if they're fishing, you know, a school vertical fishing, they're just sitting there all day long like this, looking at their training.
Wow.
So they're gonna have back issues in a couple
Oh
of
my
years.
goodness, that is something.
It's changed the sport. I mean, it really has.
Hey, I can see that.
But you got to be able to afford to have it, you know.
Yeah.
So, but
Well, we got a lot more stuff to talk about. We're about to run out of time, but that means you got to come on again in another
Okay.
month or two
Sure.
and give us an update. And
Sure.
We'll be right in the middle of some strong fishing.
All right.
In April and
I'm
May.
ready.
What's your
I'm
favorite
ready.
month?
Springtime, I like fishing. I like the spring bedding season. It's a lot easier. You generally catch more. I generally catch more, you know. So.
And you gonna take your dad pretty soon?
I think I'm gonna see if he wants to go down to Wimico Saturday. I hear they're biting pretty good. So.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
You got some good bass fishing trips today. We're so glad Alan came on. We love having him coming on, and he's a real deal when it comes to fishing and being a good person. So thank you, Alan. Appreciate
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
it. All right, buddy.
See you soon.
Y'all do something good today for fellow man. Enjoy our beautiful outdoors. You have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.